Welcome to the Dental Decoders podcast. I'm your host, Brittany Rogars, and I'm here to help you crack the code on all things dental operations. Each week, we dive into topics to help you overcome roadblocks, streamline operations, and reduce team burnout. Whether you're an owner, a practice manager, or a team member, this podcast is for you. Join us for insightful discussions, engaging interviews, and practical tips. So sit back and relax as we crack the code on all things dental operations together. Hello, Dental Decoders. Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Dental Decoders podcast. As always, I am your host, Brittany, and I am so excited to have you here and be able to hear this conversation that I had with Lisa Ann. Lisa is one of my favorite people. She is so kind and generous and just a wealth of information. And when it comes to marketing, she is the only person that I go to when I have questions, especially when it relates to social media marketing. I am excited to share this conversation with you because we dig into some things that maybe you have never heard of when it comes to marketing in your practice. It's absolutely packed full of action items that you can take away and implement in your practice. So be sure to take notes. If you're driving, you're going to want to listen to this one again so you can write down all the awesome things that she's sharing with you. And definitely don't forget to connect with her. She's also very generously giving away a copy of her guide for us. So you guys are able to get access to that and really start implementing things in the office. Lisa Ann is a digital marketing expert, a podcast host, and the founder of Stock Media. From starting as a clueless entrepreneur, like the rest of us, and struggling to find paying clients, she transformed herself into an absolute powerhouse, investing over $3.5 million in ads and generating over 1.5 million leads online. Lisa's approach to gathering leads and attracting the right person for your practice is unique. It's easy to implement, and it's super helpful for me in my business. So I'm really glad to be able to share that with you today. Hello, Decoders, and thank you for joining us for this week's episode of Dental Decoders podcast. I am so stinking excited to have Lisa Ann here with us. Lisa is one of my favorite people. She is a wealth of knowledge when it comes to all things marketing, and I'm so excited to be able to share some of her brain power with you guys today. Welcome, Lisa.
Awesome. Thank you so much, Brittany, for having me. I'm super excited, and also you're one of my favorite people, so thank you.
Thanks. My friends are cool, guys. So Lisa, you are a momtrepreneur. You are a marketing guru. You are my go-to person when I have any questions on anything marketing. And one of the cool things that you have been able to teach me is about your 4 C's to generating clients. I would love it if you would share some information on that with our listeners here today, especially the ones who may be struggling with marketing or thinking about introducing marketing for the first time.
Absolutely. So the 4C concept that I follow, I've actually been following it for 9 years now, which is wild to say. Obviously, I had made some adjustments based on things that change in the online world, how we even behave online, social media, all the things. But essentially, it's how I really am able to generate really high quality leads online, turn those leads into either clients, so booked appointments, for example, or program sales. So 4 C's, we'll break it down. Captivate, collect, connect, convert. So Captivate is how do you actually attract the right people into your business? And this is something that I feel like most people struggle with, especially when they're looking at social media. They are really focused on, hey, I can work with anyone and everyone. And I've heard it time and time again. Hey, I'll always ask, who's your dream client? Well, anyone who's going to pay me. In my case, and I'm sure Brittany, you can agree, there's going to be some clients that you don't want to work with, some clients that you love to work with. So this Captivate piece is probably the most important piece of it all, because that is what's going to lead us into the next C's. So think of all these 4 C's, they intertwine. So once you captivate the right people, essentially, how do you attract the right people? You have to get super clear on who is that dream client for you. And I'm not just talking about, hey, it's going to be moms, or it's going to be people who are into fitness, or if it's going to be dentists, just for example. It's like you can close your eyes and literally picture that person. That's how clear I want you to get. So you close your eyes, you can picture a female who is brunette, she is tall, she likes to wear Lululemon, the car that she drives, where she shops, she's a mom of 2. Like, you can really picture that person and physically see them. When you get that clear on who that person is, one, it's going to make everything that you do within your business a lot easier, but also take the overwhelm out of anything in the online world. And why I say that is because when we're posting on social media, we all know that millions of people could eventually see it. Obviously, it's not going to happen overnight, but lots of people could see it. So when you are thinking, or what I find when people think that they're talking to millions of people, one, they get stressed out or they get scared or they have that, am I okay to post this type of notions popping into their head. Instead, what I recommend is only talk to that one person that you just figured out who it is. Now, my person's actually, her name is Brittany, my dream client. So, hey, Brittany. So whenever I'm doing anything from a marketing standpoint, whether it is social media, working on emails, my website, even conversations that I'm having, I'm always picturing that I'm talking to Brittany. What that also is going to do when you start to get clear on who, it's going to allow you to really have a strong message and be really consistent throughout all of your messaging. So every single thing that people see online needs to captivate to that perfect person for you. Now, let's say that you've now attracted that person for you. So in my case, I've attracted the Britneys into my bubble, whether, again, that's social media, on my website, in my email, whatever the case may be. The next step is actually, how do I get that person's contact information? AKA, how do you actually generate a lead? So if you think about it, first of all, when people are on social media, most people, they want followers, they want likes, they want views, they want their reels to go viral. Instead, my goal is, how do you leverage social media, again, to attract that person and now get them off of social media into your bubble? How I like to do that and how I like to collect people's contact information is using something that I like to call a lead magnet. So a lead magnet essentially is where you are giving away something for free in exchange for someone's contact information. So think about a checklist, a guide, a training, a webinar, a PDF of some sort. People love to sign up for free things. Okay, let's just put it that way. Everyone's going to sign up for free things. So if you had something of value that is going to speak to that dream client that you're thinking of, that is when you're going to start to get them into your bubble. So you generate a new lead. Typically, when people generate leads, they're thinking of it from I got someone to inquire about my service. I got someone to book an appointment. I got someone to buy something. However, at this point, I want you to think really, really top of funnel. So if you just think of a funnel for a sec, you have the very top, and then we're going to narrow it down. So at this point, the very top of the funnel, you attracted that person or you captivated that audience. Now we're going to slowly go down the funnel. So now you've collected the contact information. The next C is, how do you actually connect with that person? How do you actually build a relationship? Yes, we can send emails. Yes, we can send text messages. Yes, we can encourage them to book calls with us, meet them for coffee, whatever the case may be for you. But that's a lot of tedious work. And if you had hundreds of leads coming in a day, which is a goal and something that can really happen for you, it's going to be a lot of work for you to manually follow up with all these people. So what I like to do in this connect phase, is I like to make sure that we have automated email and text messages going out that are designed to build a relationship. So think about dating, okay? In the dating phase, you're getting to know someone, you're sharing stories, you're answering questions, you're telling them about yourself, you're speaking to pain points. Exact same thing that I do within these emails and text messages. We are delivering that freebie. We're following up on that freebie. We're introducing who you are as a person or as an entrepreneur or business owner. We are sharing a story that's going to inspire them that yes, they can achieve their end result. We are speaking to their biggest pain points. We are speaking to their objections. And then at the end of this campaign, the goal is now, how do we actually convert them into either booked appointments or program sales? So again, we're going down that funnel. So we're at the bottom stage now. And this is the last C, convert. How do you actually convert them? Well, you built that relationship and it's the right people that you know that you can solve their problem. And that all leads back to the Captivate phase. If you got that down pat, the rest of this is going to be really easy. And then at the end of the day, you're converting them again, either into booked appointments where then you're showing up and doing what you love to do, or program sales where you're making money while you sleep, which is really fun, actually.
Yeah, it doesn't seem like a bad thing to wake up with more money than you went to bed with, that's for sure. Now, in the dental industry specifically, I think it's relatively uncommon to have passive income opportunities. And there are some for sure, but I think it's very rare to think about things from a passive income standpoint. You think butts and chairs, and that's how we pay our bills. If you were going to be talking to someone who had no, like, say you're talking to Brittany and she had no idea where to start with building something that was passive, how would you encourage her to start that process?
Great question. So again, going back to who is that dream client that you want to work with, and what are their problems that they have, and what is something that you can create for them that is going to help them achieve a win at the end of the day. So very similar to a lead magnet, but take it up a notch. So in the dental industry, do you have any tips or trainings that you are constantly telling your clients over and over again that you can sell? Or are there any tools that you're constantly recommending to people that you can recommend and get commission on the back end? So that's more affiliate marketing. But anytime that you are constantly repeating yourself over and over and over again, essentially you can turn that into something that you're going to now pay or charge your clients to get access to. So that would be the biggest thing. But in the dental industry, I would more so focus on the affiliate side of things. So that's you're selling other people's products for commission. So whether that is an electric toothbrush brand, for example, if you're constantly recommending this toothbrush, or even the water pickers, if you're constantly recommending that to someone, can you sell it to your clients? And on the back end, that company is going to give you a kickback for saying, hey, thanks for actually recommending our brand versus all the other ones out there.
I love that. Another cool idea that I've been talking to clients about is recurring, like, membership plans. You can get a membership for like Panera Bread and like Taco Bell these days. So
Panera
having
Bread's my
something like
favorite.
that, those charged lemonades that are hurting everybody's hearts, like, I get why they're delightful.
There's only one Panera Bread well, it's not even near me. It's like 2 hours away. So anytime I drive that way, I'm like, I have to go there. So anyone in the States, go to Panera Bread today for me.
There's literally 1-2 blocks from my house. So today for lunch, I will get Panera and think of you.
Jealous. But yeah, membership sites, or memberships in general, that's a really good idea. So it's like, if people are coming in for cleanings often, how could you spread out their payments over a period of time, so then they're constantly paying a monthly payment to you to get, maybe you have like a VIP booking system or something like that where they get the top appointments that are available.
Even things that are maybe not bread and butter dentistry, like your whitening. Could we do whitening on, like, set it and forget it on those membership plans? Could we do Botox? Has become super popular in the dental industry here in the States. So that's another thing that we could put on you. That's a recurring thing that you have to have patients do. Why not incentivize that by doing a membership plan?
Yeah, the whitening is actually a really good idea. If you think about how often they actually need to come in for it, that's going to be something that's, one, brings them back in the door, but also, is there anything that you can also add on from a value standpoint to make sure that they're always coming back to you versus going to someone else that is going to do the whitening? I think that's actually a really clever idea. Good job, Brittany.
Hey, thanks. I'm a pro. I learned from the best. So when I want to go back to that first piece of the puzzle, the attracting your right person, building your avatar. This is something that is so hard for me. I feel like I've got a good general overview of what my niche is, but as far as narrowing it down to like one person and being able to name them, I've tried. I'm terrible at it. So like, even getting down to like gender specific, how important is that to have your one person that is one person?
So there's going to be millions of Britneys out there in the world. So just because I've named her Brittany doesn't mean that I don't talk to males too. It more so just helps you from an overwhelming standpoint. But so, for example, one of my clients, he's struggling with it, really deciding, okay, are we going to talk to Carolina or Carl? Those are the two people that he has. So what I've suggested at this point, if it's something that's really going to overwhelm you, choose one of each if you can, or choose a couple that you're speaking to both people at one time. Again, it's going to depend on who you're in, like who that dream person is for you. Another thing that's really popular right now is speaking to a community versus speaking to one single avatar. And that's helping be a little bit more inclusive for sure. But in my opinion, having that one person, it simplifies it. And people get so overwhelmed with marketing in general. So as soon as you can close your eyes and picture that one person, it's going to make it easier for you. But in terms of, it's hard. Yes, it can be hard to narrow it down, but I'm sure, Brittany, that there's one client that you work with that is your absolute favorite client. I know you may even have multiple favorite clients, but there's going to be one person that really hits home for you. If you worked with thousands of those types of clients, your life, your work, everything is going to be a little bit better than if you had people scattered. But keep in mind, this one person doesn't necessarily mean I can only work with Brittany. I can work with all the other people. It's just, again, it comes back to making sure that one, my message is on point, but two, I'm not overwhelmed with any of my marketing trying to speak to everyone.
I like that. And actually just saying like, who was your favorite client? Like, oh, okay, well, I have a couple, but they're very similar people, very similar offices. So that actually does, instead of trying to make it up, actually just think about who was my ideal client. That's a nice way to spin it and makes it a lot less overwhelming for
Yeah,
me.
and like if you think about it, so those two people that you're thinking about now, they're going to start to have some similarities. Like maybe they don't drive the exact same car, but they may both drive an SUV or a certain level of a brand. So I don't know, I'm not a big car person, but there's certain brands out there that are on different pedestals, I'm going to say.
Mm-hmm.
So it's like they could be in a certain level, or maybe you don't have to go the car route. You can go, okay, they're both into health and fitness. Maybe one juices all the time where one actually goes to the gym, but in general, they both are interested in health and wellness.
That's super smart. I like taking it a little bit broader to start and then starting to scope it down. For me, that seems like a lot easier of an approach. And
Yeah.
I'm going to definitely hit my notebook after this and write down some thoughts. So I
And
love
it's
that.
it's going to change and evolve too. Like when I
Mm-hmm.
first started with my dream person, she's definitely evolved over the years. The more that you talk to your dream clients and get to know them even better, you're going to start to be like, oh, yeah, this is a common thing that I'm noticing across all my clients that I really, really like. And not to say that the clients, I don't want to say you don't like all your clients, because yes, you do like them, but there's those key people that you really like. You'll notice this commonality once you become aware of it. And that's the biggest thing, is people are so focused on, okay, let's do dental talk, or in my case, let's do lead generation talk, that we don't ask those questions. How was your weekend? What were you doing? How many kids do you have? Like, start asking those questions and actually starting to build up relationships outside of your scope of work, of course. And you don't want to get super, super personal, but at least you'll start to notice more commonalities. And it's actually really similar to what you are all about too. You'll start to notice that the people that you're attracting are probably similar to you.
I 100% fall victim to the getting right down to business and forgetting to ask the personal questions. So that hit home.
It's funny. So sorry to call you out, but my dad, so he owns his own company. And I remember when we were younger, he'd be at sales calls and he's talking about snowmobiling and boating and all these things. And I'm sitting in the car beside him, like, no one cares about what you're doing. Like, can we just go? Like, just sell them the water softener. Let's go. Like, I had no idea. And then I started my own business. I was like, I understand what he's doing. He's building a relationship. He's trying to find that one commonality that they have so that they can feel like they're more on a buddy level versus just the work level.
My son is a social butterfly, and I always say that he's going to be in sales or something when he gets older, because if we walk through like his school, he can tell you every single kid, all the different grades. He knows everybody by name. He knows who their siblings are. He knows who their pets are. He knows what teacher they're in. He knows everything about every single person in his entire school.
So bring him to your sales calls.
That's what I was thinking.
He can ask all the questions for you, but and then there you
Yeah,
go.
problem solved. Everybody just needs a 6-year-old to come with them, and their problems are solved.
My daughter's just getting to the stage where she's like, why? I was like, you want to brush your teeth? Why? I was like, okay. Like, so another way, just keep asking people why, and they'll come up with different answers every time.
Copy what your children are doing. They've got it down. I wanted to ask you specifically more on social media ads, Facebook ads, Google ads, for an office who maybe hasn't been doing a lot of social media marketing. I know Google ads are really popular in the industry, and I know like even traditional like mailers, postcards, those things are really popular in the industry. Social media ads, I feel like I don't see as much. And the ones that I do see is like just like a, hey, here's our office, come check us out. What is your approach to social media ads, and how is it different than a just, hey, this is who we are, boosted post, share with everybody?
Mm-hmm. So a couple of things. It's really look at the customer journey and where they're at within the customer journey. So if you think about Instagram, Facebook, TikTok, YouTube, doesn't matter. People are on there hanging out. They're wasting time essentially. So the type of ads that work really well on Facebook and Instagram and TikTok are going to be the ones that are educational or helping them solve a pain point. So remember when I was talking about the collect phase, where I'm saying give something away for free in exchange for someone's contact information to get them in your bubble? Mm-hmm. That's very, very high level before they actually start to get into the customer journey of wanting to hire you or book an appointment with you. So let's go to the teeth whitening stage. Let's say that you had a guide on all the home remedies that you can do to whiten your teeth. And someone's going to say on social media, like, oh, I want that, because they're clearly thinking about their teeth. They want to learn about whitening. They want to improve their smile in some way. So on social media, you're going to run an ad saying, hey, we have this freebie that's going to give you all the home remedies that you can do. They're going to download it, give you your contact information. They're probably going to go home. They're going to try it with the baking soda or whatever the remedy is at that point. And they're going to be like, oh, it doesn't work as well. But you've now collected their contact information. So now you move to that connect phase. So now they're getting emails from you. That is, again, building that relationship. And at the end, the offer is going to be, oh, hey, I know that you're interested in whitening your teeth. Here we have this special offer, get 50% off, or whatever the case may be. That's going to get them in the door. Now with Google Ads, if they're typically searching for teeth whitening dentist office near me, they're ready to book. They probably already tried all the things at home, or they're at the point they're like, I don't want to try anything. Like, let's just get it done. So you're hitting them at completely different stages. The ads that I see perform the best on social media are going to be those freebies, the really high level funnels. However, I do see people running ads saying, book in this appointment with me or come visit our office. The only time that I truly see those actually perform really well is if you're retargeting people who already landed on your website. So for example, let's just say that Carol wants to get her teeth whitened. She goes to your website, her kid walks in or gets a phone call, she gets distracted, she doesn't actually book that appointment with you, she closes her computer, goes on with her day. Now all of a sudden, now she goes on Instagram at the end of the night after she puts her kids to bed, and she's just scrolling, and then all of a sudden there you are saying, hey, come back, booking that appointment. So what you're doing there, you're creating this bubble of you. They've already showed interest because they went to your website. They need some type of reminder to actually get them back because for some reason they didn't follow through. So those are the ones that I find work best, but it's really, really paying attention to what is that customer journey and where are they in that funnel at this point in time.
I like that you recommend doing the freebie as what you're running your ads for, because if I see like a come to SKF Dental and I'm not looking for a new dentist, I'm just going to scroll past that. But if it says, hey, check out this thing that we have for free for you at SKF Dental, I'm like, oh, okay, now you've piqued my interest. So that is a super smart way to look at your ads.
Well, and like the cost difference too, like for a freebie, you'll get really cheap lead costs. So it's a really easy way to get people into your bubble to build that relationship versus if you're going to go the route of getting people to book appointments right away, it's going to be a lot higher lead cost. Like I'm talking, some of my clients are in like the $2 space where they're getting leads for that freebie versus paying $40 or $60 a lead. So it's how quickly do you want to grow that bubble? And then how can you build that relationship and build that value first, which is one, going to pre-qualify them, but also making sure you're getting the right people actually walking in your door.
This has been so great. There's so many things that I've written down that I can't wait to implement. So I know it's going to be a game changer for my audience too. I want to be respectful of your time, even though I could talk forever. So before I ask you our final question, I want to ask, how can people find you? If our listeners want to learn more about what you do, how can they find you?
Absolutely. So I do have a guide that lists the 4C process. I'm happy to give that to you to give away to the audience so you can really follow it step by step and come up with that game plan for your business. On social media, you'll find me at Lisa Ann Coaching. That's my personal social media. So that's where I'm showing up as that expert. Agency wise, you can check out Stock Media if you're ever looking for tips or tricks or any help on your social media and all of your lead generation. And then one more thing, I'll just throw it in there. My podcast, the More Than Social podcast, teaches you so much that you can do from a digital marketing standpoint to really generate leads and automate a lot of your business.
I am a huge fan of your podcast. As we talked about off camera, they're short, bite-sized, and every single one, I'm like, oh, I can go do that right now. I love the action items in those. Awesome. So thank you for sharing that. And also thank you for sharing that guide. I think that's going to be super helpful for people who are hearing about some of these things for the first time. So I love that. Our final question that we ask every single time as we wrap the episode is, can you tell us one decoding moment or secret code that has had a positive impact on your life or career?
Oh, goodness. Good question. You're making me
Yes.
think I have to redo my question on my podcast. Secret code. Could I be more of the quote side of things? No, I'm going to do automation. That is my secret code for everything. As you're scaling a business, it gets hard, and there's going to be certain things that you don't want to do within your business. So eventually, when you get to the point that you have systems down pat within your business, if you can automate it, automate it. And I'm talking the booking calendars, email follow-ups, like even the lead generation piece of it, automation. That is the biggest thing that has transformed my life and my business.
Everybody laughed when I said that's my word of the year, but dang it, it's a good one.
It is a good one.
Oh, thank you so much for joining us, Lisa. It's been fantastic to have you.
No, thank you for having me. I appreciate it.
Thank you so much for joining us for this week's episode of Dental Decoders podcast. We hope you took away a valuable piece of information. As always, don't forget to rate, share, and subscribe to help us build our community of dental decoders. We look forward to seeing you for next week's episode.